Speak less, Guanxi More. Communicate effectively in China without over-explaining. What if the secret to thriving in China wasn't saying more, but saying less? Purposefully. In this illustrated guide, I'm going to share the first reflection or mindset shift that transformed my reality. Fluency isn't enough. If you ever walked away from a Chinese negotiations, confused by smiles and yeses that led nowhere, you're not alone. This guide shows you how to decode what isn't said and why it matters more than anything else. Note to the reader, the most important skill or talent to deploy in cross-cultural endeavors is imagination, specifically positive imagination, which is why I chose to use cartoon illustrations to help you unlock your childhood imagination and curiosity. The opposite of you is not your enemy. It's the unfinished part of yourself waiting not to be conquered, but understood. If you know who you're dealing with and you know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 negotiations. The opposite of you is not your enemy. It's the unfinished part of yourself waiting not to be conquered, but understood. Self-reflection prompts. Think back to a time when you joined a new team, club, or organization. Success required that you adapt to unfamiliar rituals and customs, and you embraced them because fitting in was essential to camaraderie and growth. I read Poorly Made in China, an insider's accounts of tactics behind China's production game by Paul Meidler, which discusses how the quality of Chinese production deteriorates over time due to their persistent efforts to cut corners. Paul even popularized the term, quality fade. Now, how do you think this affected my perception of suppliers in China? And how might it have affected my attitude during negotiations? Usage guide. When I write they, their, or them, I'm referring to my Chinese counterparts or Chinese people in general. When I write us, our, or we, I'm referring to myself, the United States, or my American colleagues. The sections, my story. It's a lived moment of cross-cultural misunderstanding, discovery, or insight. For the reader, it allows you to connect emotionally, reflect deeply, and imagine yourself in the situation. Then, key insight. It's a reframing of my own experience from an alternative viewpoint, often from their perspective. For the reader, begin developing a mindset to improve your future interactions. Next is the cultural lens, a dissection of why and how my Chinese counterparts behaved and responded. For the reader, develop empathy by understanding their psychology, cultural values, and the historical undercurrents that drive their behaviors. My pivot, a shift in my persona or modus operandi born from walking a mile in their shoes. For the reader, trigger imagination that's free from prejudice and subconscious biases to reconcile relative truths. Empathize with their unfamiliar behaviors, which is uncontrollable, and unlock tactics that lead to better outcomes. These are controllable. Next is the practice, a set of thought exercises to help you find your voice in China. For the reader, craft a new persona or alter ego that works in China to create new interaction patterns with your Chinese counterparts and in the insanity. Finally, a Chinese idiom, a Mandarin phrase or idiom that reflects the essence of Chinese superstitions and cultural psychology. For the reader, learn a Mandarin phrase to practice during Guanxi deepening rituals or for breaking the ice and extending strategic ambiguity. Embrace your reality in China under a different paradigm, where everyone is intentionally vague as a matter of pragmatism. Practice. Ritualize goodwill. Show up consistently. Share meals, stories, and small gestures. These rituals are not distractions. They are foundational to mutual success.